So, with the release of one of my new favorite games, Assassin's Creed Origins, I thought it would be fitting to make a list of my favorite game series. I know, Assassin's Creed hasn't really been the best, but I still love it anyways. Here are the top 10 Assassin's Creed games in my opinion. I know most of you will disagree with my opinion, so feel free to comment which Assassin's Creed game you think is the best. And while you're at that, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button, and let's aim for 20 likes in this video, cause that will be absolutely amazing. Number 10. Assassin's Creed 1. Assassin's Creed 1 is a pretty amazing game to look at. It was a game way ahead of its time, being superior to most other games released during that period. You gotta play as Al-Tahir ibn Lahad, who was a really complete assassin, ignoring his ring finger and all. The story, art, and visual design were simply extraordinary. Although amazing, the game did have its faults. The game tended to be very repetitive, and in short, you get bored of the repetitive mission structure and fighting style. In the end, it wasn't a game you want to miss, and thankfully it opened the pathway to this majestic open world series. Number 9. Assassin's Creed 5 Unity. Assassin's Creed Unity was meant to be a revolution in the Assassin's Creed series with a simultaneous release of the next-gen consoles, but it wasn't. The game took place during the French Revolution, and just like the French Revolution, it was only ever semi-successful. Arno, the lead assassin, was pretty subpar. He wasn't as interesting as other assassins we had played at. The story wasn't really amazing, and of course, the glitches. From the co-op of the massive framerate drops to the horrific skinless silhouettes, and of course, floating bystanders. Eventually, these glitches were fixed and the game turned out to be pretty okay, but not redeemable. The animation was actually fantastic, and new parkour controls were pretty slick, but the damage had already been done. Number 8. Assassin's Creed Revelations. The final chapter in the Ezio trilogy was a not so satisfying close to the Ezio storyline, since Ezio is pretty much still the best assassin in the series, but it was okay. I'm not saying it was trash. You play in beautiful modern day Istanbul as Ezio Auditore in his golden years, and for a little part as Altair in Masyaf. Meanwhile, in the real world, Desmond is in a coma and is plugged into the Animus to sustain his life. In the Animus, he meets Subject 16, who had taken his life before the events of Assassin's Creed 1. In the Animus world, you have to play some really annoying first-person missions, but if you ignore the Animus world part of this game, it was okay. It was okay. Number 7. Assassin's Creed 3. Assassin's Creed 3 tells the story of Connor, a half English and half Mohawk assassin, and his Templar father, K.Flay. You start the game playing as K.Flay, and experience the plot twist of him being a Templar.
You are a Templar. May the Father of Understanding guide us.
Once you were done with the long prologue, you got to play as Connor, who I personally liked, even though a lot of people didn't. I mean, guys, he has a tomahawk. A freaking tomahawk! He had amazing climbing skills, but didn't always go where you told him to. Ubisoft! The game took place during the American Revolution. You got to play in New York, Boston, and some other cities. The story was good, although it was too focused on the American Revolution.
Wise words,
Number
Captain.
6!
Wise words.
Assassin's Creed Rogue. AC Rogue, as I like to call it, was released for all gen consoles on the same day as Assassin's Creed Unity. And again, in my opinion, it was a pretty good but short alternative to Unity. It featured Shay Patrick Cormac, an assassin who had a monumental change from assassin to Templar, and a really cool catchphrase.
I make my own luck, Liam.
He left the Brotherhood after he began questioning their methods and motives. He believed in uniting everyone using the pieces of Eden without having to kill anyone. You could soar through the open seas just like in Assassin's Creed 4. The last assassination in Rogue led to the events of Unity. Although the game had pretty mixed reviews, it is still one of my favorite games.
I'm Shay Patrick Cormac, Templar of the Colonial, of the American right. I am an older man now, and perhaps wiser. A war and a revolution have ended, and another is about to begin. May the Father of Understanding guide us all.
Number 5.
You can do with it as you will later. Bene. Jump!
Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. This game was the confirmation that Ubisoft had started a yearly release cycle, and the further milking of said cycle, cause people will buy anything. The game picks up a while after Assassin's Creed 2. With the assassins failing in the war against corruption, Ezio takes the mantle and begins rebuilding the Assassins Guild in Rome. The game introduces new features like the ability to call assassins, and the amazing multiplayer mode, which is now sadly been ended. It was a really good sequel to Assassin's Creed 2. Number 4. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Victorian era London is the era this beautiful game is set in. You traverse the adventures of twins Evie and Jacob Fry, with Evie being the stealthy assassin, more interested in upholding the Brotherhood, and Jacob the brute who cared less about the Brotherhood and more about the people who were suffering under the Templar controlled London. I preferred using Evie as much as possible throughout the game. I liked her fighting style, although they were barely different. The game was a really good game, but Ubisoft saw a decline in sales due to the lasting effects of Assassin's Creed Unity. Eventually, Ubisoft decided to take a break from the yearly release schedule of Assassin's Creed games. Number 3. Assassin's Creed 4 BlackFlag. Playing this game was an absolute relief. It wasn't your traditional Assassin's Creed game. It was more of an open world pirate game with some assassin elements. You play as Edward Kenway, the grandfather and father of the playable characters in Assassin's Creed 3. It occurred on the Caribbean, with Edward and some other pirates trying to create a pirate republic free of Spanish or British rule. You also had to find the Sage, who is an important character in the real world storyline. The best thing about this game is the amazing open sea gameplay, which we had witnessed a little of in Assassin's Creed 3. You got to fight alongside Blackbeard and other historical characters. He never really became an assassin until the end of the game though, which apparently ticked some people off. Number 2. Assassin's Creed Origins. Assassin's Creed Origins is the latest entry in the Assassin's Creed series. It's the first full-on RPG Assassin's Creed game. You play as Bayek, a Mediae in ancient Egypt. The game tells us the story of how Bayek becomes the first assassin. It's a truly intriguing game with the largest playable world in any Assassin's Creed game, and it's the best in the series in a while. It introduces a new fighting style and Senu, your eagle, who has replaced the traditional eagle vision. Did I mention that you could pet animals like in Assassin's Creed 3? Cause you can! Finally, number 1. Assassin's Creed 3 Liberations, obviously. This decision was made carefully with a lot of thought put into it. Okay! I'm kidding, stop typing whatever you're typing in the comment section. I meant Assassin's Creed 2. This game is absolutely wonderful. It features an amazing protagonist, Ezio Auditore La Firenze, whose story is told fantastically. The game was an amazing improvement to Assassin's Creed 1. It wasn't as repetitive and its world was truly open. Assassin's Creed 2 is still the best game in the series to date. That about wraps up our list. Be sure to tell me which of the Assassin's Creed games are your best and worst. Be free to like, share and subscribe while you're at that. And of course, thank you so much for 100 subscribers. I really appreciate you guys and I promise to release more videos anytime I'm free. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.